Hey, Ag Teacher Thoughts here, coming at you with another video. I have a couple of things for you today. First, we're going to go into one of the shipments I just received. And then second, we'll talk about kind of what's going on with the greenhouse. So in a way, this is another update video. But first, the internet's favorite thing, let's have an unboxing. Yes, in the greenhouse, we can have an unboxing, and we're going to do another one right now. Now, this one's going to be special for those of you out there that are fellow ag teachers or horticulture teachers or floriculture teachers, basically a teacher that has access to or works in a greenhouse. I've got something special that you may or may not know that can help you with your growing season and make your plants a little bit better. So what I've got is this over here. I've got a couple of boxes that I had shipped out to me from the J.R. Peters company, otherwise known as Peters Fertilizer. As you can see, they have their typical blue palm print on there. I think you can see that. Here, we'll move you back a little bit further so you can see the whole thing. There we go. What's an unboxing if you can't see the whole thing? So the Peters Fertilizer Company has a special deal for teachers and researchers. So if you are a teacher that runs a greenhouse or a researcher like at a college or a university, and you're doing plant research and you need fertilizer for your plants, the Peters Fertilizer Company has your back on that. So they have a special deal for education organizations. Basically, they get you some fertilizer for free. Now, that's free with an asterisk. There's a little bit that goes with that. So they will give you the fertilizer for free. All you have to do is pay the shipping. I will say that with my experience, the shipping is just about the same cost as purchasing the fertilizer from like a greenhouse supplier. So if you're like me and you're a long ways from a greenhouse supplier, this is a great deal. If you have a greenhouse supplier, you're going to have to do a little research and see if it's a toss-up to having them give you the free fertilizer or not. But this is how it came. Here we go. Brand new bags of Peters Professional Water-Soluble Fertilizer. Let's get that there so you can see that. This is what I highly recommend. Now, this comes from many different reasons. One, my father is a retired horticulture professor, but not only that, he actually worked for what was at the time listed as the Peters Fertilizer Company. There's a lot of history of why this is called Jack's and not Peters. We don't need to go into that in this one, but they worked on a formulation that is specifically for petunias, and most of us grow hanging baskets that have petunias. If you look through here, 2319 is the formulation for the professional version of this. I think it's like 26, 23, or 22 or something like that for the home consumer, but 2319 is the professional version. With this, you'll see feed is spelled differently. See this FE? That represents iron because it does have extra iron in there for our petunias. Right there. There is our iron. There's your FE on there. But this is specifically formulated for our high-powered petunias that we have now, the ones that grow so fast that they really kind of struggle with nutrition. So I'm going to lay this bag down, and we're going to go ahead and open this other one. I actually already cut that off this one. I haven't taken it out yet, though. There we go. There's the second one. All right, so let's go in here and look at this a little bit better. So we can go over this. I do have a video on the Jack's Classic Petunia Feed. You'll find it. I'll put a link in the description on this one where my father actually talks a little bit about it because, you know, this was an area of expertise for him. Anyway, that is the Jack's Classic. Now, with this, J.R. Peters Inc., jrpeters.com. So if you are an educator, and this is only for educators or researchers, go to this web address and they have a resources, I think it's under the resources tab, and there is an option to apply for a fertilizer donation. So that's what this is. This is my fertilizer donation from the Peters Fertilizer Company. So J.R. Peters, Inc. So the next thing I wanted to do is I'm going to cover a few other things that we have. I was away from town. Some of you may have noticed that I had some other videos where I was shooting and talking about local plants in the Willamette Valley. Well, I live in North Idaho, and we had a family gathering, we'll just put it that way, a family gathering over in Oregon, and I did attend there over the weekend. But I also brought something back. So what I brought back is all of my hanging basket pots. So I drove these back. They came back with me 400 miles. So one of the reasons I drove is it was much, much cheaper for me to drive over or fly over for the event and then drive back with these than it would be to actually pay shipping. So what's in there is our waxed pulp baskets. This is what we use. I highly recommend these. And again, I'll put the link to the baskets on the description. But basically, I use one of these baskets for a couple of reasons. One, the plants grow better in them. They grow better in this than they do in plastic. There's oxygen transfer that can occur with this. It provides a little bit of insulation. But the main thing for this is you're not contributing to the waste stream when you use this. If you use a plastic nursery container, so something like this, you've got a bunch of petroleum, and for the most part, these are single-time use. So plastic containers, single-time use, they get brittle in the sun, they go away. Then they end up in a landfill. These are made out of waxed pulp. So there is paraffin in here, and there is paper pulp. So these are vacuum formed out of paper pulp. There are 4 little brass eyelets. And then, let's get one of these out. We use a wire hanger. This wire hanger, it's metal, it's recyclable. These brass eyelets, you can punch those out, they're recyclable. And then the rest of this pot right here, you can use it one of 2 ways. One, I love to use these as a winter fire starter. So if you ever buy that waxed paper or the waxed wood shavings, same thing. That's what this really is. So I use those as winter fire starters. The other thing I can do is I can actually take this and throw this in my compost bin at home. And this will actually completely compost in about 3 or 4 months. It'll completely break down in the waste stream there. So it is compostable and recyclable. I don't use plastic when I'm doing this. Now they do have plastic wrappers, that can't be helped, but as far as the pot themselves, these are compostable and the metal in them is recyclable. So yeah, that's the next update there. I got my pots, I got my fertilizer. Now, the next big update. So I have been working with those that are in charge of my building, and we really need to be in here. We really, really, really need to be in here. And what we've been waiting on is the electrical work. And I have been reassured that the electrical work will be done tomorrow. So starting tomorrow, that heater will be running, which means we get to bring our plant material into this greenhouse and start potting up. So that's what a lot of y'all have been waiting for, is to see this structure here filled with plant material. We've got this area here swept away. I brought more of my metal hooks here for the baskets to hang off of. And our goal is in the next 2 weeks or so to actually fill this entire greenhouse with all of our 400 baskets. And it's not a moment too soon. You know, we're losing plant material as it sits in there from air circulation issues, basically damping off and with botrytis fungus. And some of them may actually be dying of Fusarium root rot because they're staying too wet. So all of that comes out of there and comes in here tomorrow with that heater up and running. And I've been assured that that will happen tomorrow. So super excited about that. It's been a long time coming. So, you know, some of the conduit is run up there, and that should be wrapped up hopefully tomorrow. I think that's all I got for you. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed in some weird way. I hope you learned something. Ag Teacher Thoughts out.